Cue the music.
I'm just island boy. I'm just island boy. I'ma get cute white boy. You gonna get that done. I'm just island boy. I'm just island boy. I'ma get cute white boy. You gonna get that done. I'm just island boy. I'm just island boy. I'ma get cute white boy. You gonna get that done. I'm just island boy. I'm just island boy. I'ma get cute white boy. You gonna get that done. I'm just island boy. I'm just island boy. I'ma get cute white boy. You gonna get that done. I'm just island boy. I'm just island boy. I'ma get cute white boy. You gonna get that done. I'm just island boy. Island boy. I'm just island boy. Island boy. I'm just island boy.
It looks like we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, oh my gosh, it's a little bit early and I'm a little bit too excited. Yeah, the intro music is a bit cringe, but you know what? That's what we're doing these days. Apparently, the markets and everything related to them is totally a function of how much we get people to cringe at the thought of putting their hard-earned money into these markets. Welcome back to the Mining Market Signal. My name is Seth, and if it's your first time here, you know, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button. Make it explode. I apologize. I got a few folks who are in the chat who are just like, you know what, my ears are bleeding already from that intro song. I will be changing that out, guys, in the coming days. Got some phenomenal tracks from Placeboing, who welcome back. Placeboing, if you're lurking in the chat, because I get the sense that we're mutuals, as far like mutual follows. If you're in the chat, just know that I absolutely love your work. So we're going to probably be debuting some of Placeboing's non-political stuff that's coming out as our intro song to help promote that channel. Just phenomenal work. Some of the most memorable BitConnect tracks, actually, the most, in my opinion, memorable BitConnect track was made by Placeboing. So, gotta give credit where it's due. Gotta pay homage to the OGs there. Oh, you know what? I'm looking like I got a little bit of bedhead going here. I'm just gonna groom live. Well, actually, before I do that, why don't we jump into the markets? Okay, we're not going to start with the fear and greed index today. We'll jump straight to that. But currently, I want to check our Bitcoin chart because it is relevant. But get this data point out of the way. Currently, Bitcoin is trading for $62,414 and change, right? Give or take, depending on where you're looking at it. This is currently the Bitcoin to US dollar chart on TradingView, according to Bitstamp. And so this is our current price. We defined on our last live stream something of a descending triangle. Crypto Mikkel is in the chat, guys. Again, speaking of OGs and good friends in the space, Crypto Mikkel is in the chat, says, I love these morning streams. Hey, I appreciate that. I love having all the fam out in the morning, right? And when my kids get back home from school later on in the day, they love having their dad available too. So this has been a phenomenal change for me as well, guys. Definitely expect to see a lot more of this live and published in the mornings. And, you know, at least if you're in the US, sometime in the morning. If you're on the East Coast, maybe sometime in the early afternoon, depending on when we actually get things published. But here we are looking at that descending triangle that we had taken a look at before. Clearly, it broke back out. RSI has flipped bearish since we last spoke. And yeah, so this is, you know, I'm not a technical analysis show, but we are just going to take a look at these charts and make sure that when we look at different ranges, if we bounce off of a certain support, we want to pay attention to that. Hey, it is 1:30 p.m. in London. You love to hear it, guys. You love to hear it. Our friends across the pond deserve all the love we can send as well, right? So Magni1 says it's 1:30 p.m. and I really appreciate you being tuned in all the way from London. Definitely appreciate that. Friends out in Manchester as well would love to have you tune in. So we know we've got to go a little earlier to make that happen. Otherwise, we're asking you to burn the candle at both ends, and that's just not right. We just can't have that. So looking at that chart again, though, guys, it is Dave Jack is telling me it's 5 a.m. or nothing. Here's the funny thing. Like, based on where my clock is, I actually get up about 4:15 Pacific time. That is my typical wake-up time, but I had a bit of a rough start this morning. Kids wanted to see the Venom movie, and so we went out as a family to do that last night, and bruh, I'm a lightweight. I just do not stay up late that well anymore for that sort of thing. It's crazy because I'll work 14-hour days as far as getting work done, but you throw something like recreation into the mix, and somehow I'm wrecked. I'm ruined for the day. I don't get it. Maybe it's the theater popcorn. That's got to be it. It's the theater popcorn. We'll blame that fake butter or whatever. So anyway, looks like we're in a descending triangle, or it's broken out of the descending triangle. I don't really know. I guess I don't have the technical tool set personally to be able to define an appropriate chart or any kind of appropriate targets from this point, but it seems like from the last 48 hours since the last time that we live streamed, we could define something that looks a little bit different with our chopsticks, right? We want to try to catch something. Perhaps we are looking at something of an ascending triangle, but it's a very, very small move right now. Okay. So at this point, just know I'm openly admitting that this is not a great chart. Okay, just to be so everyone's aware, this is not the best possible chart that could be drawn. And yeah, I realized that Crypto Mikkel says it's 8:45 where you are. Yeah, and apparently, so according to our 12-hour time clock right now, James in Germany is saying that it's about 2:40 p.m. Or 14:39 hours there in Germany. Great. Guys, love to have everybody from across the pond tuned in, and our friends from across Western Europe. We love having you live on the show. Be sure to continue to blow up the chat. Guys, you always do. Chat is out of control, and I love it. So, yeah, everybody tune in, ask questions. Be sure if you have an answer for somebody else, go ahead and answer a question. Together, we know more than any one of us alone could have ever hoped to know. So when we become the mentor we wish we had in crypto, we save people from getting wrecked, right? As this market marches on towards what I think is an inevitable blow off top at the end. We can help save some people, not everybody, but we can help some people. So be that person. And, the world will be a better place for you having done that for at least one person out there, right? Together we can do that. We can make that change. So it looks like something, this is just our chopsticks intersecting right now, just for the sake of taking a look at the chart. But right now we are currently holding at, no, we are actually still descending. The price is dropping live on that Bitcoin chart. So no telling where it's going to go at this point, but it looks like RSI is bearish. It looks like we are in a sell-off. Looks like the price is going down, right? The current volume chart looks like it's predominantly sales. So we'll see what happens with Bitcoin by the end of the live stream. Fear and greed index. Let's talk about something that is at least conceptually probably a little bit easier to wrap our heads around in some ways. Bitcoin price and all the cryptocurrency prices can be very, very volatile, right? We know this, which is why, sorry guys, I've got a red screen you right now. None of what is on this show is legal, financial, or business advice. But we know from experience that these prices are very volatile, that these markets are extreme, and that they do shake people out, that people do get wrecked. For example, somebody went all in with their life savings on Squid Game right before it rug pulled. $28,000, 28,000 US dollars is what that person had saved up in their savings. They had converted it into some sort of a stable coin or some sort of an Ethereum based pair so that they could go all in on Squid Game right before that giant pump and dump, the rug pull by the developers. So we know that it can be very, very volatile, very, very dangerous, right? So yeah, guys, stay safe. Stay safe. And none of this is financial advice. We're just taking a look at some data points to make sure we can help each other stay a little more safe. But here, the Fear and Greed Index is currently at a score of 76. That is definitely extreme greed, right? The market is still extremely greedy, even though we're seeing rug pulls left and right, even though we're seeing all kinds of crazy news come out of the crypto markets, people still have a massive risk appetite. And we're seeing that, right? So guys, Crypto Mikkel gives some, speaking of not financial advice, Crypto Mikkel gives some really good not financial advice down in the chat. He says, be sure to tap the like, fam. And I think that that's great advice, personally. So definitely hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. So yeah, 76, the trend is now almost entirely in greed, right? So we've been above the neutral sentiment for over a month now. We're still continuing with greed, and we've kind of popped up in further greed, right? As predicted, we're going to see that the sentiment continues to move up. We couldn't stay leveled the way we were before for a little while. But the big question is always why? What's causing this? And let's take a look at some of those news items as we go. We'll take a look at our portfolios as well towards the end. But right now, there's so much news, which you can find down in the description of this video. Every single thing I'm going to show you is openly available with direct links. There's no link cancer, right? There's no tracking links. There's no ad campaigns or additional tags on the end of the links that I have down below in the description. You can just click on them. They'll bring you directly to the news source where you can follow along as well. Or later on, if you want to read those, you can do so at your leisure, right? Not just right away. But let's go over some of the high level items that are affecting the sentiment in the markets. First off is Shiba Inu. And without actually bringing up any kind of a news item, because it hasn't really hit the news. And I don't know why, but it hasn't really hit the news. But there is some kind of a benevolent whale out in the Shiba Inu army, right? The Shiba army, or SHIB army, oh my gosh, that is transferring massive amounts of the token. So let's take a look at that. And instead of, in lieu of bringing up, say, like CoinDesk or whatever else, let's go ahead and jump directly on chain. Okay, let's take a look at the on-chain analytics. This is where we really learn what's happening. And sometimes these things don't hit exchange, but crypto Twitter definitely keeps the receipt on this sort of thing. There are people who are paying attention to all the whale wallets, and this was no exception. So jumping straight into that Shiba Inu, here is the token tracker available on Uniswap. Now, actually, this is the one link that maybe I did not put into the description. But if you were to go to Uniswap, first off, be absolutely sure that you're on the correct site. If possible, just bookmark the IPFS site so that way you know it is going to stay up and it's going to be safe. But this is the Shiba Inu tracker, token tracker. And we can see that the volume has been relatively, insane the last few days, right? 100 million there. And 99 million here. A whole bunch that's happened here on Uniswap. So why so much movement? Well, first off, it printed a new all-time high not long ago. There have been people who want to be able to take profit. Now, do I blame them? Do you have to have diamond hands? Lark Davies, bless his heart, on crypto Twitter said if you had $5 billion in profit, would you diamond hand it all the way to 10 billion? Or would you dump some right now? My thoughts on the matter is there's no such thing as diamond hands to 10 billion with Shiba Inu. If you have $5 billion in profit right now, you would be a fool not to take some profit and protect yourself. Bare minimum to take something out of it. But here's the real news story, guys. The person who has this whale wallet got their entry point for that position in Shiba Inu at only $8,000 total. Yeah, you heard that right. $8,000 into Shiba Inu, and it has since grown. They held it all the way up to a profit of $5 billion with a B US dollars. Less than 5 figures to more than 8 figures, 9 figures, 10 figures. It's a massive profit. Massive, massive profit. So this person has done extremely well with that position. And I'm of the opinion that if they haven't already minimum taken out their initial plus a multiple of their initial, then they're being very, very irresponsible. They're being very, very foolish. I don't know why they wouldn't take some profit. So, and if Lark Davies, if this happens to hit your desk, I think that's an interesting question, but I don't think it's a responsible question. I don't think that Shiba Inu has that doubling left to print. I don't think it does, or at least it didn't at the time that you sent that tweet. Right now, I've said it multiple times on the show. If we see an additional order of magnitude flip, so the next 0 in line, if we see it flip to a 1, holders of Shiba Inu will be extremely lucky. They'll be extremely lucky. So I don't see it going from, it's 0.00007 to a 0.0014, right? I don't see that happening. I don't see it doubling. I see it maybe flipping into a 0.001, possibly. And if that happens, I've said it multiple times on this live stream, and I have no problem saying this openly and even characterizing it as informal financial advice, right? I'm not a financial planner or advisor, but for my part, if that were my position, once I saw it flip to a 1, I would be out, completely out. I would unceremoniously dump it if I had to, but I would be out. I think that's about as much mileage as this token has. I don't think it goes higher than that. So anyway, that's my personal thoughts on the matter. But here are the wallets, guys. On-chain analytics, and you see this down in the comments section, not on the the description of this video. This is on Etherscan. This is a whale wallet, and I've flipped over to the ERC token transaction tab for this wallet. You can see that right now it's only got so much Ethereum in it. It's got about $11,500 US dollars of Ethereum in it. So this is not exactly what you'd call a whale wallet for any other token, right? Any other token, not so much. That said, because they had so much of that token, Shiba Inu, they kind of lined themselves up for a lot of airdrops for several other tokens. Clearly, they still have their 400 Uniswap in this wallet. They qualified for the Uniswap airdrop, and they've just held it. They haven't touched it. They've got a bunch of other airdrops, but they've also got, you know, some stables in here. But most of the rest, I would say, are probably airdrops, if I had to guess. So tiny little bit of tether, like one tether. Yeah, so many other fake airdrops, largely because it's a whale wallet. So they're being targeted by so many others. And yeah. Guys, Pocket Change gives a phenomenal piece of not advice as well. She says, you know, 45 viewers, you were wondering about morning. Smash the morning button, peeps. Smash the button, peeps. Lots of thumbs ups. Thank you. Thank you, Pocket. You are a gem. On our gem hunting for this channel, I can safely say that Chump Change and Pocket Change XD, they are some of the gems, as well as Crypto Mikkel, some of the gems that I am happy to promote any day. So, guys, yeah, here we see all of the transactions, though. And if we filter it down to just the ERC20 token transactions, I mean, I know that at first, Etherscan, if you're not used to navigating it, at first it's kind of weird, right? You look at it and you think, what am I actually looking at? And when you go down to these tabs here, it shows you exactly what kinds of transactions have come in and out of a wallet. This is public, and this is why you've heard me talk about privacy for so long now. It's very important. If you aren't careful with your wallets, there's always somebody watching. It is a public ledger system, right? Both Ethereum and Bitcoin are public ledger systems. So here it is, guys, a bunch of transactions. And as we scroll down, we can see what are these massive amounts here? Outbound Shiba Inu. And in equal amounts. See, what is that? That's million, that's billion, that's trillion, 4 transactions of 10 trillion and change, right? So 10 trillion, 100,000, 4 transactions of Shiba Inu outbound. Well, where did that go to? I would suggest that goes to wallets that are controlled by that same person. Let's follow those wallets over on Etherscan. I've got each one of them open here. There's one, there's another one, there's the third. Okay, you can catch up. There you go. And then there is the fourth, and we see the token transactions there. But they've got Dogs of Elon that came in. It looks like it came all from the same wallet. They've been divesting that initial whale wallet of small portions of their biggest holdings, right? So Shiba Inu, they did an additional 100,000 roughly of Shiba Inu back over to this wallet. However, this is, from a different wallet, though. It looks like that was definitely from a different wallet. So they divested themselves of some Trust Swap and some more Shiba Inu from a different wallet. So clearly there are 2 whale wallets. Didn't see that before. So let's line up this other whale wallet, and we can see roughly, quite a bit. So a bit more Ethereum here. Got about $500,000 currently worth of the value of. Yeah, no, not bad. Not bad. Looking at over 100K of USDC over here. So this is the wallet that has all the other nice stuff. Securitants. These are genuine tokens too. So they got a bit of wrapped Bitcoin. So that's kind of cool. Over 2 Bitcoin worth of wrapped Bitcoin, Trust Swap, Axion, Securitants, ART token, XBTC. They got a few over here that are a little bit more substantial. And then they've got a bunch of outbound transfers, right? So they've sent it to various other wallets, especially their Trust Swap. They're trying to get it sort of spread out to some other wallets. And apparently, USDC hitting up that good old Uniswap. This is the sort of crypto and DeFi user profile that doesn't worry about fees on Uniswap. And this is our competition, right? When we're looking at us as retail or as smaller investors or as small-time miners, right? At-home miners or even mid-scale miners. This is our competition. These are the people who are both feeding us as miners, but also competing with us in DeFi markets. And this is why the fees are so damn high. So on the one hand, thanks guys, but on the other hand, like we can't really keep up with fees on layer 1 Ethereum because of these people. So yeah, Just to be aware of that. These are the sorts of people that also will bid up all kinds of NFTs to millions of dollars worth of value. Right? They're very, very happy. We've got Leonardo Fernandez saying, cheers, miner from Brazil. Hey, obrigado. Appreciate that. Thanks for being tuned in live. All right, we got, let's see, what else? This is the secondary whale wallet. We've got 2 of these whale wallets with a bunch of transfers out, though. And we see the value of the Shiba Inu that was transferred out, that $10 trillion worth of Shiba Inu. See that right there? My gosh. I mean, it's unreal to look at, right? That number, 635 million US dollars. Bruh. If I saw that sitting in one of my wallets, I would be sorely tempted to take a little bit of profit. I think it's safe to say that for most of our audience tuned in right now, this is life-changing money. This would be a life-changing amount. And if you were to divest yourself of even a portion of that one wallet out of the several that Shiba Inu was transferred to, just a portion of that one wallet, it's safe to say that many of us watching would be totally okay with paying taxes on that amount, like even to the tune of the highest tax bracket. Even if we weren't careful about crafting our tax situation, we'd be okay with taking the tax hit and changing our lifestyle just a little bit. You know, and I don't mean like extravagance or acting like, you know, nouveau riche douchers. Like we would just, sorry, pardon the phrase, right? Like we wouldn't necessarily totally swap into like our lifestyle into being complete jerks, right? Complete a-holes. But I think that most of us would be tempted by that to say, like, you know what? Maybe it can go higher. Maybe it can also change my life, especially if you have, if you're married, if you have kids, you might look at that and think like, I could probably make some changes and they would be positive changes, I think. Guys, appreciate all of you who are watching live right now. Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. None of this is meant to be financial advice, and especially when it comes to Shiba Inu, there are people who are diehards who want to see this project really take off even further. Don't let my skepticism about its ability to double from where it is right now stop you from making whatever choice you think is best. You have to do your own research and you have to own your own choices. But for my part, I would look at its current rates and think it's probably an okay time to take some profit at least. I don't need to wait until what was $5 billion shrinks back down to $2.5 billion. Right? Like, why not take some profit? Practicing risk management is just a good idea. And certainly with that level of profit, I bet Uncle Sam would like you to take those profits too. Right? I don't think he would complain either, especially right now with the shifting landscape of the tax situation here in the United States. Let's take a look at some of the other news items that are live right now. Oh, another quick call out. If you are on Etherscan and you're wondering what this little guy is right here, when you're looking up an address and we're doing on-chain analysis, we want to look for this little highlight there. This is the blockscan.com logo, and Blockscan is the maker of Etherscan, BSC Scan, Polygon Scan, and several other block explorers, public block explorers that are EVM style chains. What this logo means is that this address is being used on one other blockchain. Now, if we jump back to the whale wallet, we can see it's being used on 8 other blockchains. So not only is that wallet super in profit on Ethereum, it's probably in the money on a couple others as well. So let's take the initial whale wallet, click on the Blockscan link there for that address, and let's do some blockchain peeping here. It's on BSC, it's on Polygon, it's on Hecko, it's on all the testnets, obviously. Oh, and a BSC testnet. This might be a developer wallet. That's kind of an interesting find there. To be listed on so many testnets tells me that this may be a developer wallet, and that may be why this person was so well dialed in to the Shiba Inu drop when it happened. They may even be associated with leadership or be leadership, secretly be a leader's wallet. Now, this is not me making any accusations towards the Shiba Inu developer team. I don't want that to be misunderstood, but this is very clearly somebody who uses all of the Ethereum testnets. If they're on, Ropsten, Kovan, and Rinkeby, that's a huge sign that they're testing some kind of smart contract code 3 different ways. Ropsten is usually enough, right? And we've got that joke, that meme shirt over at mineyourbiz that says, I'm rich on Ropsten. That's kind of, because anybody can just launch a testnet token there for free because the faucets will give you, whatever, 5 or 10 Ethereum for free, but they're testnet ETH. But yeah, I'm looking at this and thinking, this is not a typical wallet. It really isn't. Polygon Scan and BSC Scan, however, this is going to be somebody playing for keeps. And same with Hecko, right? So let's take a look. Or Huobi, right? No, Polygon, there's not a whole lot. There is some, it looks like maybe there are some airdrops, perhaps. So nothing really going on there. And it could just be that because it is a whale wallet on Ethereum, that it's been tagged for airdrops on Polygon. That would be the case. I think if I were looking for somebody with a qualified wallet and I were on a low cost, a low fee network like BSC or Polygon, I would look for whale wallets that were interested. But on BSC, it's clearly got some more activity, right? So as early as as recently as the last day, right? Some transfers in. But it looks like these may, let's take a look at the BEP20 token transfers first. This looks like it may not be very much. Clearly, the declared value here on BSC Scan is like just under, it's like basically $15, almost exactly $15. So that's hilarious. Binance pegged Shiba Inu token. Gee, I wonder how they got that. And they're really big into the LGBT. There's an LGBTQ token. So this may be a person who is involved in the LGBTQ community because they've clearly got Rainbow token here as well. So they've, transferred in Rainbow token. They've got a bit of pancake, a bit of cake, but not all that much. Starbase universe. Oof. This is a person who I think has just kind of like experimented with some stuff. This does not look like there's really all that much substance to the trades here. Like it looks really more like they've just been kind of messing around to see, okay, what is this actually worth? I mean, like they've got 20,000 Shiba Inu, like Binance pegged Shiba Inu tokens here. I think they may have just been trying to see, like, is there anything worth doing liquidity provision for over on BSC? But there's not a whole lot going on here. And the total value really is that low. Binance pegged Cardano. That's funny. That is hilarious. They got a fraction of a Cardano here on Binance, the Binance Smart Chain peg. So there's not a whole lot going on there either. Let's take a look at the Hecko, right? So let's take a look. Also, just probably some airdrops. So I think both on Polygon and on Hecko, they are. Yep. Looks like that's pretty much just airdrops, but this can happen, guys. The whole point of adding this and making this the central focal point of today's live stream is that these are people who exist out in this space, being developers, as I suspect this person is, right? It's a strong hunch, right? Well, we'll see. Strong hunch, but I suspect this person is a developer and that they have been dialed into some of the token markets very, very early on. And that's why they knew that Shiba Inu had serious potential to go the distance and how they got in with a position of only 8,000 and flipping it into billions of dollars. Now, it's obvious also from their secondary whale wallet or from whoever controls the secondary wallet that was transferring into those other wallets that we saw, which, let's be real, it was probably the same person. Or an institution, perhaps. We don't know. Could be a couple of people, for all we know. Or we would know if they were associated with a DAO, though, because that would track also on the blockchain. It'd be public, their involvement in a DAO. So, but it could be more than one person. We don't know for sure. And we just need to be aware that these are people who exist out there. These are some of the people who program flash bots and who execute flash loans, people who are able to undercut various other traders in the market and various other participants, especially at retail, right? We think that we're getting into a good deal when we see something and it's already on its way to going parabolic. There are people like this who are able to pick things up for fractions of a fraction of a fraction of what we first are exposed to. So just be aware, this is crypto. And this is a very, very real risk. Let's move on to some of the other items in today's news cycle. And I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of front-end editing live, guys. As you know, I'm not a big fan of ads, and there's only so much that can be done. Let's go ahead and block some of these elements that are the biggest offenders. I don't want to have to keep telling that thing to go away. Let me also get rid of its close button. Yep. Bye. And also get rid of, let's see. Their call to action there is not the worst thing. You know what, though? I am just going to get rid of the entire column. There we go. So 20. It's called 20, but the person's name is Zarin Denzel. founder of a mobile virtual network operator, right? So if you're not familiar with what an MVNO is, or a mobile virtual network operator, think of services like Mint Mobile in the United States, or Ting or Republic Wireless. These are all considered MVNOs. They are not T-Mobile or AT&T or Verizon, or Orange or any of the other carriers that we may be used to here in North America or the United States. But they rent some of the wireless or the mobile spectrum from these companies to be able to offer a service. So Tuenti is one of those services. They're a bit like Mint Mobile here in the United States. But apparently was kidnapped and tortured to reveal Bitcoin private keys because the value was worth millions of euros. So this person, unfortunately, was targeted. Looks like was living in Spain, in Madrid. And there you go, a maintenance, there we go, in the house with a friend and a maintenance worker. Doorbell rang, opened the door. Several people entered with hoodies and masks hiding their identities, covered the in-house security cameras, tied him up, and sprayed him in the eyes. The actual assault began shortly after, when the perpetrators repeatedly beat Denzel for hours. After being cut and electroshocked, the victim finally gave in and confessed the password of his Bitcoin account. In it, Denzel told the local authorities that he had millions of euros worth of the primary cryptocurrency. The perpetrators also swiped laptops, phones, and tablets before they eventually fled the scene. According to the attackers' accents, early police estimations suggest they could have been from Eastern Europe. Such incidents highlight the importance of investors taking extra steps to protect their digital wealth, as the narrative, not your keys, not your Bitcoins, is not enough here. Multi-signature devices could be a solution, as investors can add 2 or more private keys to sign and send a transaction. For additional security tips, they offer a detailed guide. I'm just going to say that I've talked about here on the channel, doing a bit more of a security and privacy oriented series of videos. I think it's definitely important. We're at that phase of the market cycle, and I truly feel for this individual. We're at that phase of the market cycle where bad people are going to take notice, right? They're going to realize, okay, there will be some people where we can get crypto cheap. We can get it free or easy. And it bears mentioning that custodial services, say like Coinbase or Binance or other large exchanges, they do not necessarily protect from this type of thing. It's totally happened in the past that a person has been detained or kept under duress or tortured or harmed until they went through all the steps to enable a transfer off of an exchange as well. So logging in, initiating the transfer, and then waiting for confirmations to come either via email or on the phone. That happens as well. And I mean, it's happened in the fiat world, right? Getting somebody's net worth transferred via wire transfer from a bank or from multiple banks. So this is not something that should be taken lightly, and it's not something that is unique to cryptocurrencies. Please do not misunderstand, and please do not promote the narrative that cryptocurrencies are more dangerous because this can happen. Because frankly, kidnap because of somebody's net worth has always been a risk. In fact, it was a risk even before the United States went off the gold standard in 1971, right? Like, there have been issues with people seeing that you have high net worth and wanting to take what you have for a long time, right? And cryptocurrency didn't invent that. Cryptocurrency doesn't necessarily promote that. But just to be aware, guys, there are risks. You do need to take extra measures there. So that's part of the news cycle today. Animoca is raising $93 million from SoftBank, and they're building the metaverse. Animoca is a huge supporter of the Polygon ecosystem. That's why I wanted to bring this up, guys. You keep hearing me talk about Polygon. In my mind, and for my day-to-day usage, Polygon is my most used EVM chain. It's been able to stand in for Ethereum layer 1 for me for the better part of about a month or two now. And I know that doesn't seem like a long time, but in the midst of a bull market, when prices are racing back up, that's practically an eternity, right? So I'm really, really excited to see that this company is raising funds to be able to build more of the metaverse of NFTs. And why am I excited about Animoca specifically? Well, because they're actually building games that people actually want to play. So that's kind of something that matters when you're talking about some of this whole cycle, right? Like when you're talking about especially paid or play to earn NFTs, if people don't want to play the game, why would they care about the NFTs? Well, it would just be speculation, right? You can farm that out to a bunch of virtual assistants in Southeast Asia or somewhere else. I know that sounds really terrible. For anybody tuning in from Thailand, I truly apologize. I don't mean to to belittle or say anything against culture there. But when you look at the arbitrage, right, of what 1 hour of labor costs in Thai baht versus US dollars or euro, when you're earning in euro and you're paying in Thai baht, you get a lot for your money, right? You do. You just get a lot for your money. That's the bottom line. So your regular salary can pay 3 other people's salaries or more when you're looking in some of those vicinities. So you look at these play to earn schemes, right? And there's so much that can take place between that arbitrage, right? Within the play to earn ecosystem. So when you have gameplay that people actually like and you stand a shot at onboarding retail because they like the video games, I think you're in a better position. Shout out to Son of a Tech, who debuted a video yesterday talking about how, in his opinion, as a longtime gamer, in his opinion, play to earn is not necessarily going to shake up the industry as much as people think. I tend to agree with him to some extent. If you're trying to shop a solution that's looking for a problem, then you're going to continue to have problems that go unsolved because you're always walking around saying, well, this solution could maybe fit. You have to start by solving a problem that people actually have: entertainment. And entertainment is not an easy problem to solve, right? Like, people like what they like. You can build a game that is a AAA title, launches at $60, right? On some of, launching at $60 at, say, GameStop or whatever your local place is, or on Steam or wherever it is you buy games. And within, a couple of months, it's just dead, right? Sales don't go anywhere and they have to drop the price. That happens in traditional game publishing. So why would it be any different in NFT land? Well, it's not. And so I tend to agree largely with Son of a Tech on that point. But I do think that there is a ray of hope, and it comes from game studios that prioritize the gameplay. Right? The gameplay has to be top notch. You can't miss on the gameplay. If you do miss on the gameplay, you basically miss on everything, right? Like, that's the whole point. Earning needs to be secondary, but you do have to have the tokenomics in place. So I think there's a balance there, right? So shout out to Son of a Tech again. Just absolutely loved that he's staying true to those roots of being blind run first and foremost, right? The dude that will go and play, like, give you 4 hours of entertaining gameplay over on Twitch, but then can also, like, kick butt over here on crypto YouTube. So let's jump back over to some of our news. But yeah, Sandbox Capital, it's the usual suspects. So guys, Animoca, they've already got momentum, so they're the ones getting the money, and I'm excited for them, right? I'm here for it. Can't wait to see them at Decentral in Miami and check to see what they've got by way of new developments. Speaking of Miami, what's going to be happening in Miami in the upcoming future? Well, among other things, such as the Decentral show, as well as Art Basel or Art Basel, the NFT show or the art show, traditional art show that's happening immediately following it. Well, the mayor of Miami, he's going to take his salary entirely in Bitcoin. All right. Mayor Suarez, you have my attention now. Miami coin for me was a little bit of a, he threw me a curveball. I don't know that I was totally ready to accept Miami coin as such, as being the massive change that the cryptocurrency industry needed, but you got my attention again. Here we are looking at the first US politician to take their entire salary in Bitcoin. Man, mad respect, really. So yeah, Francis Suarez is going to be the first US mayor, right? The first politician ever to do this. And it's a bit of damage control, in my opinion, after what happened with the Miami coin. In my opinion, was a debacle. That was not a good thing. However, mad respect, it's due, right? Like, this is somebody who's willing to put their money where their mouth is, literally. And we're not talking about somebody who earns millions or billions of dollars. This is somebody, I think, in the article, apparently his annual salary is just under $200,000, which I know people are like, well, that's more than I earn over here. Yeah, but bro, you don't run a city as large as Miami. You don't deal with some of the problems that this person is dealing with on a regular basis. So I think this is within range of what we'd expect in a major metropolitan area, right? Like, it covers the cost of living, is what I'm saying, right? So yeah, it seems high, but when you look at the national averages and the cost of living for a place like this, I don't think it's out of range. The U.S. president and members of Congress are only supposed to earn about this much too, or a little bit more than this. I think U.S. president's salary has risen to, like, gosh, what is it, over $350,000 or $400,000 now per year? Used to be only $250,000 per year, and this is like the leader of the free world, air quotes. So I think this is not out of range personally, but when you consider building crypto wealth and the potential for Bitcoin to have a 50% drawdown, that $187,000 can turn itself into $90,000 real quick, right? Like that would be kind of nuts, right? Like to see like, sweet, well, I've got a reasonable salary, got a reasonable income doing the job that I do. All things considered, this is okay. This covers my expenses. And then like crypto plummets 50% in a day, which it has done repeatedly. We continue to see this. This is part of the volatility of Bitcoin and all of the rest of the cryptocurrency markets. Imagine putting yourself in this guy's shoes. So awesome. Diamond hands, diamond balls. That's just amazing right there. As far as taking the entire salary in cryptocurrency, right? In any cryptocurrency, but Bitcoin especially, right? So you get that really, really great liquidity. So I think I get why he's doing that. Speaking of which, let's jump back into Miami Coin. I want to just revisit it because I gave it a fairly scathing review when I did. And I don't know that I regret giving it the score that I gave it. Here it is on CoinGecko, still trading at a relatively low value while the rest of the market is up. Miami Coin is down. It continues to go down, right? So when Mayor Suarez was interviewed about it, he talked about it being, oh yeah, it's trading for 4 cents. And here it is at almost 2 cents, down 3%. And it's not done well. Let's take a look at its price action over the last little while. Yep, kind of a downward trend. 14 days, downward trend, 30 days. I think that, no, it has pretty much only, not only gone down. I think it dumped after roughly about our interview or about our review, but under 2 cents at its all-time low, I think. And then all-time high, only scraping about 5.5 cents. I don't know that I see this pulling out of something of a tailspin, or maybe it's just finding support here at about 2 cents, and maybe that's about where it stays. I'm not going to like try to pick winners here, but I do think that even being built on the Stacks protocol, so a bit of a smart contract protocol that is EVM compatible in its language, Solidity compatible in its language, but built on Bitcoin, I don't think it's enough. I really don't. I don't think it's enough. I don't know that the market actually cares. Bitcoin maximalists certainly don't seem to care about EVM systems, and the Bitcoin maximalists were some of the most vocal opponents of coins like Miami Coin, and then its mother project, City Coins. So I don't know what's going to happen there, but I do think that the mayor of Miami putting his money where his mouth is, right, taking his salary directly in Bitcoin, not in this other token, I think that's going to go a long way towards healing some of that damage. All right, guys, some of the last news items you see down in the description. Again, remember that you can find everything we're talking about in the description of this video. As always, guys, I want to empower you to make the best possible choices that you can make. If you're new here and you're lurking, obviously, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you click the bell icon as well so that you don't miss anything coming out. We've got a lot more Gem Hunter content coming up in the coming days and weeks. This is one of those markets where I can't afford not to publish, and you can't afford not to research. Really, it is, there's a lot happening very fast. It's catch as catch can, and when this market tapers off, when there's a blow off top, which I suspect there will be at the end, that's it. That's all she wrote. So we got to make hay while the sun shines. We've got to make sure that we get that bread. We get that crypto right now. Get those NFTs. Lock in those profits. Don't miss on those profits, right? Take your risk management seriously. And for your situation, you know what your situation is without giving financial advice. You pay attention to what your needs are and don't let yourself get wrecked whenever the end of this bull market happens, right? So be attentive, and I'll be right there with you every step of the way. So be sure you're subscribed for that, guys. But in Cointelegraph, Crypto.com, we already saw that they sponsored UFC. Where are they going with it next? Yeah, we probably could have guessed. We probably should have seen this coming, but they're going with UFC NFTs. What? There we go. We got an explosion. I needed something that looked like an explosion. Anyway, so guys, we probably should have seen this coming, right? Realistically, we could have seen NFTs would have been the logical next step for this relationship with UFC. They've already got the Crypto.com logo on the back of everyone's booty, right? Those little shorts that everybody has to wear, right? The guys and the gals alike, right? They're all rocking Crypto.com on their backside. And I guess for the ladies, they've got it on the sports bras too. It's everywhere, right? We see Crypto.com all over UFC right now. So of course they want to be able to show highlights that show the Crypto.com logo from these fighters. Now they've got several weeks of fight night, and they've got a few upcoming major UFC events, right? The PPV UFC events coming up. They're going to want to have some highlights from that, a bit like how we've seen from NBA and a bit like how we're seeing from NFL, right? NBA Top Shots. I mean, let's be real. NBA Top Shots is okay, but we go back to see KOs on NFC or on UFC. We always do this, right? We would have done this without NFTs. So we're happy to rewatch some of these KOs over and over, and the TKOs, right? Some of these really hard hits, especially the knockout artists. So people who are like the majority of their wins come not from submission, but from a KO, a really solid punch. Like, we'll watch their stuff over and over again. The submissions too, right? And then some of those events and those moments where, like, you know, Conor McGregor talking all that trash, right? Seriously, he talks so much crap, he's got halitosis. This guy is like, we love to see when he wins because it's like enraging, right? And then we love to see when he loses because it's vindicating, right? It's like, oh my gosh. So imagine that moment where Conor McGregor steps back and then boom, he has that lower leg break, right? Both of the bones, the tibia and the fibula. Is that right, guys? Check my anatomy there, right? Make sure I'm not leading anyone astray. But when he steps back and he has that lower leg injury, of course we want to see that as an NFT. It is fascinating, right? And it's disgusting, and we don't want to look, but we can't look away, right? It's pretty amazing. So having those moments as NFTs, I think, are going to be a huge deal for the UFC. So yeah, there you go. First official NFT. I hope that they go sort of along the lines of the NBA Top Shots. We also saw that Matt Damon did a commercial for Crypto.com. Clearly they are in the profit. So there's not, I think, any shortage of funding to set up some really cool collaborative NFTs with UFC. The issue is they've only got a short amount of time left to get these to market, I think, before we see a bit of a correction in the markets. So they need to move very, very fast. But let's take a look at the article a little bit. They say all official UFC memorabilia and goods may be purchased through the Crypto.com secure app market. So it allows you to purchase NFTs with the native token, CRO, or other popular cryptocurrencies via this existing operational payment system. And their co-founder and CEO, Chris, says UFC is a premier global sports brand with legions of avid fans worldwide, and we're excited to leverage our technology to provide unique fan engagement opportunities and security for their collectibles, adding that the company wants to help UFC fans secure and engage with their collectibles. So it looks like they are going for the full platform play. They don't just want to publish NFTs on somebody else's platform like OpenSea or Rarible or the many other popular NFT platforms. But I think this is Crypto.com giving us a warning shot that they want to become a new custodial platform for people's NFTs, or partially custodial platform for NFTs. This is about as much warning as we're going to get. Hopefully they're entirely portable. Hopefully they're truly decentralized so you can bring your NFTs from Crypto.com to whatever platform you choose. But rounding off our news items for the day, guys, let's take a look at one last thing. Remember how I was talking about Thailand before? Well, I had Thailand on the brain because Thailand's oldest bank acquired a 51% stake in a crypto exchange by the name of BitCub. You've probably not heard of it. I know I hadn't before the news hit. But what's notable is that this old bank, Siam, guys, what is it? Siam Commercial Bank, so SCB. But Siam Commercial Bank purchased the majority stake in this crypto exchange, which is native to Thailand, called BitCub. And I think the purchase amount, there you go, was about $537 million is the equivalent, which my exchange off the top of my head is a bit rusty, but I think that is somewhere on the order of 2.5 billion or a slightly more Thai baht. So yeah, it's a lot, guys. It's a lot. It's certainly in local currency denomination, it's a lot of money. We could actually do that exchange live here if we wanted to, but I think that's probably not the most important thing. What's important to note is that this is because Thailand is lining itself up to have genuine regulation related to crypto. So the Thai regulators are in the middle of enforcing regulations on the market as investment interest in crypto grows. And so they're trying to line themselves up to have a proper stake in the way that regulation affects retail investors along just all across Southeast Asia, not just Thailand, of course, because there will be people from Laos, there will be people from Vietnam, there will be people from all over Southeast Asia and the islands that will look to this as a bit of a standard, right? Moving forward, a bit of a standard. So to the Firo team that has set up Firo in such a phenomenal way, where we're going to see that, I'm sure, on our charts really, really soon, all the best. I sincerely hope that with this acquisition of Siam Commercial Bank to BitCub, I hope that Firo is well lined up to be properly dealt with all of the regulations and all of the investment that's going into this new venture. I hope Firo is well lined up. They're a phenomenal legacy project from that region. So you'll love to see it, guys. This is what adoption looks like. It's not always exactly what we choose. It's not always exactly how we want to see it happen, but these are some of the necessary steps for the average retail investor to get exposure to cryptocurrencies. All right, let's jump into some of our profitability on GPUs. I had some questions come into the chat as well, guys, and definitely appreciate that. We will get back to those questions in just a moment here. But let me just say for the record, unequivocally, GPUs are where it's at. They are. You can get into ASICs and that's fine. And if you have a company sending you $7,500 ASICs for free to do a review, or multiples of them so you can do a review of one of them, then great. That's amazing. And I ain't mad at you. That's great. But if anybody says that GPUs are not profitable or will not be profitable in the future, they need a history lesson if they somehow forgot, because every single market cycle, GPUs come back into profit. It's really that simple. Spec mining plays continue to work. And for as long as there's proof of work, GPUs, I think, will be right alongside of that proof of work market to assist in the entry level projects. And they'll help foster them up to the point that they can be either taken over by ASICs or they can be transitioned to proof of stake, as we're seeing with Ethereum. I think to say otherwise is just the height of ignorance. It's really that simple. Absolutely that simple. Like, we've seen it repeated over and over again. So I am mad at anybody that is primarily reviewing ASICs. There's totally a market for that. There's totally a place for that. But even Bits Be Trippin', who is aligned with Compass Mining, which is predominantly an ASIC mining host, like a hosted company. He's a GPU miner. He hasn't fundamentally shifted his business model. He mostly mines on GPUs. Why? Because he's been profitable on GPUs since 2011 and as early as 2013, sharing his GPU mining journey with the rest of us. So yeah, it's not a function of opinion, guys. It's just a matter of fact. There's a historical record that shows GPUs are profitable. In my mind, that's the end of the story. Anyway, but here we are on the What to Mine GPU breakdown. And on Team Green, as always, the RTX 3090 is the king of the hill. The hash per dollar per watt is a different story, guys. And I know I need to publish an update to that spreadsheet, or just go through a methodology so you can do that math on your own. We're not going to get to that today, though. So RTX 3090 is king of the hill. At 10-cent power, it's doing almost $9 of profit a day, but the most profitable coins are Ethereum and CCX. Conceal, guys. Shout out to Savage Mine. Those of you who are in the chat who know, throw up those horns and let's go ahead and get that hashtag trending of Savage Mine. So yeah, that does still, as I am aware, as far as I'm aware, does still help benefit his family for his videos to be viewed. So go ahead and keep that hashtag trending. Let's keep that flame alive for Savage. But guys, and you shout out to Conceal, which Savage promoted for free for years. So yeah, that's one of those profitable coins. Flux is on the leaderboard, but so is Raven, so is Firo. Guys, these are projects that I think genuinely have merit. It's very cool to see them here on the leaderboard for Team Green cards. Moving down the list, our lowest performing cards are also some of our highest efficiency cards. This is where you need to pay close attention to the hash per dollar per watt. We get a lot of people who get confused and say, like, well, I just need the heaviest hitting card. And they go for the top of the line. This happened on the last bull cycle, where in 2018, a bunch of people said, you know, I've got to buy GTX 1080 Ti's. That's all I'm going to do is buy 1080 Ti's. And sure, that's an okay strategy. But the people who were able to get higher efficiency cards were able to get them running for longer. They never had to shut them down at all in some cases. So paying attention to those efficiencies can work in your benefit as we're nearing a transition point in markets when we're in high profit now, but we may go into low profit in the not too distant future. So if you're looking at either capitalizing or reallocating hardware in your mining operations, just take that into consideration. You can't just look at the heaviest hashing cards if they're not the most efficient cards. Just, you know, my 2 cents. There you go. Seth's 2 cents. Somebody mentioned Jay in the comments. I don't know what he has to do with mining. Whatever. So 1050 Ti. Yeah, I don't know what he knows about mining. Because I suspect everything I hear him say about it is, you know, it's precious little that he actually understands. Without disrespecting the guy, you know, stay in your lane. But 1050 Ti is lowest on the list in profit, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily the worst card, right? It's just a bit older. So 1050 Ti, Zell for the Flux coin, Zano, and Raven. You're not going to be able to mine Ethereum, but you are going to be able to mine other coins quite well. Ethereum and then Swap on the list. I'm shocked to see that. Guys, Swap, there's not a whole lot of liquidity. If you were to say like have a full warehouse of 1060s, GTX 1060s, and you were mining Swap with them, you would not be able to sell those coins. It's just not a liquid enough market for you to do that without harming the coin and price. So I personally think it's irresponsible for me to even recommend that people mine Swap at scale. If you're a very small scale miner, maybe consider it. And if it's a project that you want to support, that makes sense. But I would be very cautious about dumping, because you're not going to help this project if you have to dump, right? So that's my take on that. Flux is, yeah, one of our one of the most usual suspects here as far as a second place on the leaderboard. It's not too far behind Ethereum for most of Team Green, right? So even on the 1660, where we've got $1.75 of daily profit on ETH, we've got $1.50 of daily profit on Flux. And you've also got those parallel assets being paid out. So you're able to participate in DeFi natively with the Flux token over on the various other smart chains that you get those parallel assets paid out to. So just to say, not a paid message by Flux, by the way. I've got a little bit of alignment with their project because I carry some merch on the Amazon store. If you check over on mineyourbiz and take a look at the sub menu, that drop down for, let's see, I can actually pull that up live. Got no problem. But on mineyour.biz, I should probably just have that as a link, huh? Well, whatever. All right, so here we go. Go to the shop, boop, boop, and over to merch. We got Flux swag, and it will bring you straight over to Amazon. Oh, that's funny. Why does it bring a whole bunch of other stuff? Oof. Well, we got our Flux, right? Our Flux projection, RGB projection, what the Flux, Flux Army, and some others. I don't know why it is showing all this Minecraft stuff. What the heck? Amazon. Oh, rug pulled again. Thanks, Amazon. But anytime you see any official Flux stuff, we can click through and you will see also that it is from the Mind Your Biz brand. So Mind Your Biz is a brand on Amazon, right, guys? We got merch going there. Some of it is Flux, some of it is Mind Your Biz oriented stuff. But yep, got the Zelcore HODL shirt, classic design there. And then Don't Be Evil again by Flux, as well as some others, Zelcore, and yeah, some other fun shirts that are Mind Your Biz exclusives over on Amazon. If you are into shopping on Amazon, I upload them there for kicks, not because I necessarily want to do that. One of my other favorites here is our mining exclusive shirt. It's just, you know, just for fun, guys. We're gonna hop off here in just a second, but yeah, this is probably my favorite design maybe ever, right? Anyway, double entendre, get people to do a little double take as you're walking around work and stuff. They'll be like, what? Huh? You're a miner? You're into mining? Yeah, mining is hot. I like it. I like it a lot. Anyway, so back on our profitability, guys. Let's go from Team Green over to Team Red. What is happening there? Well, here's a prediction. The Radeon 7 will dominate. Oh, hey, look at that. It dominates. So it's doing great on 10 cent power. It's within striking distance of even the RTX 3090 at half the price. So pretty amazing. So DMAG is saying AMD better for Raptorium than Intel. Hey, that's not a shock. That's really not a shock. It's got far higher performance for Monero as well. So, but Radeon 7 is top of the list here, guys. Some of the newer architectures are also doing really well in terms of daily profit. As far as the price goes, though, you're also going to need to do a price, right, or a hash per dollar per watt price benefit breakdown. I think that's the right way to look at some of these cards. For my part, I've stuck with older cards for quite some time and acquired only older cards for quite some time, and I've been very happy with the results. Your mileage may vary, so you do your own math there. But yeah, people who are only buying new cards strictly for resale value, I think that my approach has been validated. Some of these other older cards, since mining has gone back into profit for some of these older cards, so is resale value, because people understand that there is the possibility of earning from these cards. So it always brings the resale value up. Heck, I resold some older Polaris cards for greater than their MSRP when they launched, even though they had been used and mined in a warehouse for 2+ years. These aren't rational markets, guys. It doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense unless you understand, because you've paid attention to history. All right, so taking a look at our bottom of the line, we've got the R9 380, not a shock, but then we've got the 4 gig Polaris cards. Really, the R9 Fury is far ahead in terms of profits, almost 15 cents per day, or a little more than 15 cents, almost exactly 15 cents per day on Raven Coin specifically, right, where it's got a much higher performance rate than the Polaris architecture because of that HBM memory on the Radeon R9 Fury, even though the core is older, right? It's a much older card, right? You see it's almost roughly 2 years older than the Polaris edition cards. But we've got Raven, we've got Zano, we've got some of the other usual suspects. LAism pops up for some of our lower spec cards, and I'm not even sure why it would show up for the RX 5500 at 8 gigs of memory, other than that its ETH performance is very, very high. Vertcoin showing up out of nowhere. I just didn't expect to see them on our list, but it's there. And then Firo showing up a lot on the higher performance cards. Our HBM2 cards like Vega 56 and Vega 64, as well as the Radeon 7, are going to show profit for Ergo as well, but it's just not going to be nearly as close to the Ethereum performance as I'd like to see to really consider it seriously. Flux also makes an appearance here for the RX 6900 XT, which is very interesting that it doesn't really show up on anywhere else on the leaderboard for Team Red. Why might that be? Well, I have my suspicions, but I think it's likely owing to some differences in architecture on that RX 6900 XT. Like, there's also a reason that the 6800 outperforms it on Ethereum mining performance by a tiny margin, right? Like, rather in cost benefit. But yeah, otherwise, very similar performance, right? Where you got similar power consumption, similar hash rate for Ethereum, and then roughly the same outcome there. So all things being equal, price being lower on the 6800, it's a better buy. I think it's rightly placed above the 6900 XT. So interesting to see that Flux is available there, where you've got higher profits on Conceal with that 6800. So architectural differences can make a big impact in your bottom line there. Guys, let me jump into some Q&A, and we'll take a look at the chat really fast before we evaluate a little bit of our portfolios. I don't want to jump too far into our portfolios. We're going to do kind of like a winners and losers breakdown of our portfolios today, but let me see what kinds of comments we have that will that we can respond to while we're still live. In the meantime, here's our GPU mining portfolio. You can see the 24-hour change there and the total P&L there, as well as our top 2 leaderboard. I think that's the most remarkable side of this portfolio are those top 2s. Alrighty, so let's just say all right, taking a look at some of our chat, jumping back through. What questions do you have, guys? Would love to see any questions that we have there as well. We're answering questions, guys. Well done. Folks are answering questions. Folks are asking questions. Big Crypto Dave. If I lived in Miami, I would too. That Bitcoin would be there after Miami is underwater. Hey, good point. Yeah, you dig 6 inches in the wrong direction, in the wrong place, and yeah, you've hit the water table. It's not quite that little, but yeah. All right. I'm not seeing too many question marks, guys. Jumping back through our Q&A for the live chat. Definitely appreciate seeing so much support, guys, and definitely appreciate for those who are lurking or new or watching this after the fact, hitting that subscribe button, making it explode, and then slamming the bell icon till it rings for all notifications so you know when we're live next. Back in that chat though, guys, definitely appreciate. Hey, Ravenboy Crypto says, there we go, Philippines. Nice. Thank you. Yeah, I missed mentioning the Philippines before in Southeast Asia, guys. Huge oversight on my part. When I was growing up, I always had people asking me like, hey, you're not related to Joseph Estrada, are you? The former president of the Philippines and also actor. Right? It's Small world. Philippines, like everybody gets to have 2 jobs. You get to be a politician and an actor, I guess. So anyway, jump back through, guys. I'm not seeing too many questions that I think are urgent right now. There were some before. And nope. Yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions that you'd like me to get to or any kind of projects you'd like me to mention right now. Guys, I am... ooh, yeah. Casual Mining is asking, can anyone suggest where I can get help with a code 12 error? Cards aren't showing up at all. Really frustrating. I enabled above 4G, put Gen 1 on PCI lane, switched all of them around, etc., etc. That's a tough one, guys. That's a tough one. Code 12 errors are becoming increasingly common, especially I'm noticing with the Radeon 7. It's been a bit of a plague upon the Radeon 7 in window mining, especially. Is that code 12 error that's popping up, people being unable to see the device working. Even though it might appear in Device Manager, it's shown as not available or not working. So I don't have an answer for you there. That's a tough one. It's definitely a tough one. I would say first things first, try out something that is Linux based. If you're mining specifically or primarily, try something that's Linux based. And then of course, go through the typical hardware troubleshooting steps of maybe, tearing down the device and then reapplying thermal paste and cleaning things off, right? Carefully cleaning things off, making sure that it's physically inspected and that there's no physical damage or dryness to the thermal paste so it can properly transfer heat off of the main chips. All right, there we go. I've actually got to manually add that right there, guys. Manually add some comments as they come in. Just know that it's important to me to make sure that as many comments as come in that I can approve are approved. All right. Yeah, and JMMJ brings up another really great troubleshooting step, which is to reduce all GPUs down to exactly 1, and then asking how many GPUs are on the board. It's pretty important, right? So yeah, if you haven't already brought your a given rig down to just a single GPU and then try testing each one individually, it's going to be hard to identify the source of that problem, because it could be just one of the slots that the GPUs go into, or it could be just one of the GPUs that is a problem that is creating a bit of a device signing error or a bit of a device driver error for the others, right? It's not that one of those like one bad apple spoils the barrel, right? Spoils the bunch. Yeah, you can create like a little bit of like Windows cancer if you're not careful. But yeah, troubleshooting, bring it down to one device. That's great. A great troubleshooting methodology there. Bring it down to just one add-in card. No additional cards, nothing plugged into USB, if possible. Just like strip it way down to just bare essentials. So, and then Token on the blockchain says, or it's the riser. Yes, risers do go bad, right? Like it's an absolute truth within crypto mining, within GPU mining. Risers are known to go bad. They're one of the highest failure rate parts. And I don't even care which generation of riser you have. Just always plan on getting 3 to 5% more in the number of GPU risers than you have GPUs, just so you have them in inventory. And then, yeah, have that riser, those extra risers ready to just throw into your rigs as needed. You should always have spares. I mean, I've got my backdrop up now, but guys, as you recall, here in the studio, I mean, I've got dozens of GPU risers just kind of like at the ready, just so we're ready to rock as needed. They're important to have. All right, guys, that's all I got from chat right there. Appreciate those questions coming in. Appreciate the assistance coming in from the community as well. Take a look at our biggest losers over the last 24 hours, guys. Looks like our biggest losers over the last 24 hours are BitTube. Ouch. Just taking it right on the jaw. That's a tough one there. Market cap is still below $2 million for BitTube. And then everything else looks like, why is it organizing itself this way? That's weird. Why would 1.4% be a bigger loss than 0.9%? Make it make sense, CoinGecko. What's your problem? What's your deal? The last 24 hours, BitTube is our biggest loser. Zano as well. They are down, but not down too bad. And then let's take a look at our P&L, or we can take a look at our holdings. Either way, it kind of doesn't matter, but our profit and loss is a better indicator. We still see that our biggest winners are Flux and Equilibria in the long run since our initial input in May. Conceal is up as well. Profit line is crossed at Grin. And then our biggest losers, since we added them to the portfolio, are Mimblewimble Coin and Haven. Haven is still, I think, possibly undervalued. And at a $100 million market cap, it potentially has room to pop above that. But I don't know. You know, you got to do your own research. You got to make sure that you're confident in those teams. Hard drive mineable portfolios. Casual Mining follows up and says, I tried an expansion card and nothing shows up on any PCI slot. I know it's tough to help here. I have a 1200 watt HP server and ZSX breakout powering all cards. Ooh, that's tough. Oh, Bernie is asking why no SafeCoin. Hey, phenomenal question. I don't even know why we don't have it here in the portfolio. Good grief. Huh. All right. Safe. Oh my gosh. That may be why. Even though that's its ticker symbol, it doesn't even show up. I think it's because there are other projects that are a little bit higher, you know, higher market cap that are showing up there. Oh, crud. What am I? Yeah, no, still on GPU mining. Woo. I got a little bit worried there, but currently SafeCoin is, wow, it is trading for over $1. Way to go, guys. That's awesome. Up 25% this week. We've got to make sure we put an entry in for early or later May. We still need to do that for SBTC and TBTC. We'll get to that. But SafeCoin, thank you for the suggestion there. Very, very great suggestion to have in the portfolio. Let's check out our hard drive mining portfolio, though. Kind of moving on. We see that our top winners are Storage and MadeSafe Coin, but Siacoin is in the profit again. We are up above the $1,000 mark of what we put into the portfolio initially. Chia is still down bad, below $150 per coin, even though some of its competitors in the hard drive mining space are up over the last 7 days. Storage taking that #1 spot and being well over 50% in profit. Great to see for them. CPU mining portfolio, guys, want to briefly check in on that. Epic Cash still absolutely gutting its competition at over 1,000% up since we created the portfolio. Raptorium as well, just kicking butt, taking names at over 700% up, almost 800% up. I mean, if you'd put $1,000 in at the time that we created this portfolio, you would be a very, very happy investor at this point. Monero is down pretty bad. It continues to drop, I think because people are interested in the main net of Monero, not Wownero as much under these conditions. Monero is the project that's meant to endure. Wownero is the project that's meant to test, right? It's meant to test things on. So, yeah. Going from our CPU portfolio to ASIC portfolio, guys, we've got, and you can see the 24-hour change as well as the P&L above there. I'm not going to go out of my way to mention that. We've got GMT. So Go Mining Token is still there on the portfolio, still the highest performing coin within this portfolio, but not technically speaking ASIC mineable. It just indicates that there's ASICs mining somewhere else. Bitcoin is still the king daddy, though. It's outperforming everything else that is mineable with an ASIC that we have listed here since May, the end of May. We can add more ASIC mining coins, guys, and I would love to do that. What are some ASIC mineable coins that you'd like me to add to this portfolio? Because it's starting to get boring, right? Like, people say that ASIC mining is more profitable, and that may be true day over day, but actually being a smart investor in some of these proof of work coins, we can see very clearly that some of the CPU mineable algorithms and some of the CPU mineable coins have been, I mean, they've been hyper profitable by comparison, by 10x over what we're seeing in this side of the portfolio. So what are some ASIC mineable coins that you think actually give our CPU portfolio and our GPU portfolio a run for their money, or the hard drive mining portfolio a run for their money? When it comes to this like proof of work mining, if we're saying that we're all in on proof of work mining, then we have to pay attention to what's generally or genuinely in the money, what's genuinely in profit. And I think that part of that has to do with having better ASIC mineable coins in the portfolio in terms of higher performance over that same time frame. So let me know in the comment section, what do you think needs to be added here? All right, DMAG is asking Cadena. Cadena is not technically speaking an ASIC mineable coin. We do have it, but it's on a different side of the portfolio. So let's move over to FPGAs. First off, though, shout out to Pirate Chain, it's the cream of the crap right now. Sorry to phrase it so bluntly, but it's bringing up the tail end at 50% down. It has gone parabolic recently, but it's also retracing to find some support there. So yeah, Pirate Chain and Devault are down in the dumps a bit, but here's the thing. Pirate Chain also has a market cap of almost $400 million. So it is okay. It's gonna be okay. All right, moving from ASICs over to FPGAs. You guys keep cutting to the chase. You keep trying to steal my thunder there by bringing up Cadena. It's in the FPGA mining portfolio, and yes, it is up good. It is up very nicely. Over $1 billion market cap at this point. And if you had put $1,000 into Cadena at the time that we set up this portfolio, that is specifically May 26th of this year, you would be up by over 10x. It is amazing. Performed amazingly well. Current coin price is $7.97. You can see our total 24-hour and total P&L change there. And it's really being led by Cadena. Nimiq is up all right as well, but I mean, let's just be real. It's not even close. Not even close. Any of the other FPGA mineable coins, they just don't even compare. 0x Bitcoin has had a significant pop upwards since the last time we live streamed. It's no longer in the bottom spot. It has been for weeks and months, but it's now about halfway back up towards profit. We're nearly at that point, 10% down from when we added this entry to the portfolio, but it's nearly back up to break even. Now, I am a little bit concerned that the break even point, that it will not be able to maintain that it'll find resistance at some point in the near future, and that when we do see a total global market correction, there will be a bit of an issue there. All right, guys, have some comments coming in the chat. Let's just see. Saying don't want to spam MYB chat. Let's see. Yeah. So guys, yeah, troubleshooting is okay in the chat as well. That doesn't bother me at all. But yeah, Discord's probably a better place for some of those conversations. My Discord channel right now is just real talk. I've been in stealth mode for a while. I took the actual invite off for months, and in part it was because I saw what happened to Wall Street Bets. I've seen what happened to other different coins and communities. Discord is one of those censorable platforms that does not instill a lot of confidence for me. It makes me a little bit concerned. So I've been looking for less or more censor-resistant platforms that can be used other than Discord and maybe Telegram. Telegram's okay, but it's not encrypted by default. There's some other issues there. I have been wondering, though, do we go to Matrix? Do we try to bridge chats in from Matrix and then do a multi bridge from Matrix to Telegram to Discord? Or do we go with something like Rocket Chat, the way that Son of a Tech has done? It has me a bit concerned. So you let me know what you think is a reasonable, maybe compromise there. The bottom line is, though, yeah, conversations like that, probably better on Discord. Appreciate that, guys. Thanks for helping each other out, though. So over here in our FPGA mining portfolio, guys, yeah, Cadena is doing really, really well. Handshake is back up in the profit, which is exciting to see as well. We covered how over on namecheap.com, when you're picking up brand new domains, you have the option of searching Handshake domains there. It's pretty cool. That's live right now. So paying in fiat and then having a Handshake registered domain if you want to. So that's really valuable, and I think it's a great direction to see. 0x Bitcoin still doing that crazy oscillation. So somebody's making money there. Pretty exciting. And then moving from FPGAs over to smart contract platforms. This is where we see a ton of action, a ton of growth. Phantom, Solana, Terra, Avalanche, and Wax still our top 5. Cosmos has been, well, basically ejected from that lineup. It was in that top 5 before. Wax was below it, as I recall. But Cosmos, I think, is not one to be slept on. All of these are doing over 100% profit. That's the important thing to note, is that almost all of them have posted over 100% profit. So you've got, if you put $1,000 in late May, you would have already got your initial recaptured and then been able to keep that $1,000 in this coin. When you look at the highest performers like Phantom and Solana and Terra, right, at over 500%, you would have been able to take out your initial and had multiples of your initial to let ride in these coins. It's pretty amazing to see, and people who aren't paying attention to this, like, bruh, this is why we as miners need to pay attention to this. When you're looking at, okay, well, I got my initial for not for free, but I got my initial subsidized by mining. Now I put it into this coin. Now it posts a multiple. Now I can take out that initial, which I already got subsidized, or basically, you know, not free, but really, really cheap. So I can take that initial out and let the rest of it ride. And now I've converted myself from miner to investor. Not even high frequency trader. You don't have to be a swing trader or anything, but I've converted my job title from just miner to now miner/investor. Pretty cool, right? That's why I wanted to have this portfolio tracked over time. That's why I wanted us as a community, as miners, to pay attention to this. We don't have to become high frequency traders or Gordon Gekko. We don't have to wear that weird blue shirts and, you know, white collars with a yellow tie to, you know, try to look like the other guys on Wall Street. We don't have to smoke cigars and, you know, and become misogynist weirdos. Like we can just do us, right? You can do you, and we can step into higher profits if we're just a little bit smarter about how we direct our mining profits. I think, without telling anybody what to do, I think we can do more. I think we can enjoy more from these markets. So that's why this has been such an important thing for me to talk about, because I think that a lot of miners are content only to get what pays out at the end of the daily payouts on a pool or the weekly payouts on a pool, and then say like, okay, that's cool, that's good enough. I don't think that's good enough. I want more for you. I think that you can get more, and I think you've earned it. I think if anybody's earned it, it's miners. So, gosh, man, I'm getting misty-eyed here, man. I'm getting choked up. I really do think that miners have worked the hardest of anybody in this community, right? In the broader crypto community, right? We have deal with these headaches with hardware. We're setting up stuff. I mean, right now in the chat, you guys have been troubleshooting with casual mining, right? Like, we've been troubleshooting with people who, like, we put in work, evenings, weekends, holidays. When stuff breaks down, we get a notification from HiveOS or Simple Mining or something, or some kind of a rig monitor we've got on our phone. And it's like, well, okay, got to go back over to the mine and fix something. Like, we put in work, physical work. You can earn more, right? Like, and you've earned it. It's okay to think that, right? It's okay to think like, I can get more from crypto. It's there, right? Like, we can see it, right? Like the market is showing it to us. Clearly, it's there. We can get it. So just throwing it out there. But Phantom, Solana, Terra are like the most degen plays, right? At over 500% up. Don't know that I could have seen that coming. Don't know that any of us could have necessarily seen that coming, but there's a lot happening there. But we got to pay attention to those market caps. We talked about that before, right? At $6 billion, Phantom may even have more upside, maybe, in this market. At $67 billion, does Solana have more upside? Maybe. Can it post a double from where it is now? Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Maybe it can hit over $100 billion for sure. Bernie is asking about thoughts on all the FUD about Shiba Inu. Ooh, and Crypto Mikel is asking about how CKB is doing. That's a great question, man. CKB, that should probably be in our FPGA portfolio, yeah? We just do. Yeah, I don't know why it's not, because Nervos should be FPGA mineable, right? I think right now it's FPGA mineable primarily, not GPU mineable. That's a great call out there. So yeah, on both those points, let me go ahead and I will jump back. I don't always do this, guys, but we need to line up more coins, better coins, right? As competition, as you mentioned, or as was mentioned before, can throw it into here. CKB. We'll go ahead and make sure that Nervos is added to FPGA. And then, yeah, ASIC. If we can add that to ASIC as well and see the genuine performance of something like that, as opposed to everything else that has been added there, I'd like to see that. All right. So I also got a question from Bernie asking about, again, the FUD about Shiba Inu. I don't think all of it is FUD. And I mentioned it. We actually covered it at length earlier on. We did some chain analysis on that coin. And I think it's very, very clear that there is a developer who's a mega whale in Shiba Inu who has lined up several different wallets to then start filtering profits out. Now, if we start seeing any degree of trading from them on Uniswap or any other kind of decentralized exchanges from the Shiba Inu token into, say, like Ethereum or into USDT or anything that can be rinsed through a decentralized mixer like Tornado Cash, I think that's our high sign that Shiba Inu is definitely about to dump. So those links I submitted down in the description, guys, you got to pay attention to those. Set up alerts. You can do a watch-only wallet on any number of different applications. But as you guys have seen me say before, Walleth has become one of my favorites for that sort of thing. So Walleth runs on your phone. I tested out some of the hardware wallet functionality on Walleth on the phone. It works brilliantly. And in fact, I've got a little tutorial lined up for Trezor and an OTG cable, custom OTG cable, which I've got right here. that lets you connect with a hardwired device, so you don't have to enable Bluetooth, which is a security risk anytime you have Bluetooth running on your phone. But you can connect with just a little multi-prong, right? Multi-purpose cable right here. You can connect your Trezor to your phone, and you can unlock Wallet with a hardware wallet. So you've got the best of both worlds. You got watch only on your phone, and you can execute trades from your phone, but you got the hardware wallet security, right? So you've got extra hardening of your wallets. So we can use that, for example, as one example of you can use to just watch that whale wallet on Shiba Inu. We don't need to get wrecked, right? We don't need to get dumped on. But that Shiba Inu wallet, the whale wallet that's kind of like been filtering out those coins, we need to pay attention. If they make any kind of a move to divest any of those coins, then it's not FUD, right? It's fact. It's right there on the blockchain. We can do that chain analysis and make sure we're not about to get dumped on, because there is a huge risk. Huge risk. It's not that it's actually happening. So yeah, it is fear, uncertainty, and doubt for now. So it's not that it's actually happening. But as you know, in 15 seconds, in under 15 seconds, that TX can happen. And then we know for sure. It literally takes that long for one block to be written to the Ethereum blockchain and for a massive number of coins to be rinsed from one of those wallets. So we need to be paying attention to all those wallets that I indicated earlier in the show. But yeah, Shiba, I have concerns in general about Shiba Inu. We're about to get to that side of the portfolio as well, so we'll talk about that when we get there. All right, did I already add CKB to the ASIC mining portfolio? I did. We're going to have that ready pretty soon, guys, at almost $500 million right now, and at a current price of 1.9 cents, lined up well. I suspect that we have probably got a winner in terms of the ASIC mining dominance, coin dominance. It might even be able to displace GMT, but we'll see after I add that later on. I'm not going to be able to do that live today. Sorry about that, guys. Proof of stake smart contracts, jumping back just a little bit in our portfolio, because we've got to pay attention to what's happening over here, guys. This is where I think we are mining our profits elsewhere and then posting our profits here on some of the GPU mineable coins that are not as profitable as our CPU mineable coins like Epic Cash and Raptorium, right? The face melting coins over there that have just destroyed everything else in our portfolios, including these smart contract networks. And they've still got more headroom, guys. That's the thing. People aren't knowing about these CPU mineable coins. They don't know. They don't know. They're watching all the other shows where people are talking about like Number Go Up Forever and Moonboy talk about like Phantom and Solana. And they don't know about these CPU mineable coins. We do. That's what miners know that nobody else knows. So yeah, we can post those really high profits on CPU and GPU and ASIC and FPGA mineable coins. And then we can, we can have those profits. We can keep them too. We can lock them too on other networks as well, right? By taking out some of our initial and posting higher profits. So biggest losers on this lineup, not Harmony, because I still have not added an entry there. So don't be confused, but it is Internet Computer and it is EOS, even though it's up over the last, over the last week, it looks like it's up, but EOS and Internet Computer still dragging butt over there. Sorry, guys. Wouldn't want to be automated liquidity. Let's take a look at some of these Moonboy coins. These are coins that are designed to pump. Shiba Inu up above Hex in the stacked rankings. And for anybody who is in a resident Hexagon in the chats, guys, this is something, I don't label myself as a loyalist to any of these projects. I will not do that to my brand, except for with one coin, right? The King Daddy. This is the grandfather, the grandparent, and the forebear of all the cryptocurrencies that we pay attention to. That's why I have no problem aligning my brand with Bitcoin any day, right? Same with Monero. Monero, I've got no problem talking about favorably any day. They have proven their use cases. They've been tried and true. They've had problems, yes, but they've developed through them. So yeah, those are the only projects that for me, I've got no problem talking about publicly and always aligning my brand with. But all of the rest, it's like, okay, I'm not going to turn Shiba Inu into like my personal identity. That's insane. Definitely not going to turn Hex into my identity. Also seems kind of insane, right? Like, just like how Bitcoin is not technically my identity either. It's just part of a business brand. So anyway, Hexagons, kind of crying. It's down quite a bit last 7 days, but Shiba Inu up 33%. However, let's take a look at the actual coin price. It's down from the last time that I talked about. I've mentioned a couple of times, guys, a couple of times, and I'll mention it again, that right now we see this 4 zeros and then the number, almost like Satoshi value, right? But 4 zeros and then a number. It was at 7 before, and we know the chart has retraced quite a bit. Pull up the 14-day. We can even just see over the last 24 hours. It's pulled back quite a bit. After its parabolic run-up, right, it was not as profitable as it is now, even 14 days ago, but it popped up to that all-time high, boop, right there, 8.6. It didn't flip that next 0 into a 1. We didn't get that proper order of magnitude flip. And I mentioned that if we do get that order of magnitude flip, again, shout out to Tom Crown. If we get that order of magnitude flip where it's 3 zeros and a 1, run. It's really that simple. GTFO. Take your profits, whatever it is you need to do, maybe even just your initial, whatever it is, or maybe an initial plus a little bit of a, a little bit of a multiple to make sure that you're comfortable with actually getting some profits out. But don't sit around to get dumped on. Right now, we're seeing those whale wallets kind of like filter their way out, like the equal amounts of 10 trillion Shiba Inu. Come on. I mean, it's obvious. This person is just trying to like spread things out, and they might do it again with these other 4 wallets, right? In denominations of like whatever, 2 trillion to 20 wallets to track, whatever. I mean, there are only so many tricks you can play, right? In cryptocurrency on a public ledger system. It's obvious that we're lined up right now such that if we're not careful, we will get dumped on. Not a good look. This is not a good thing, right? We can't let this happen. So we got to pay attention to that price, or to what's happening in those whale wallets. But right now with the price retracing, right? 3 or 4 zeros, 8.6. Now we've pulled back 4 zeros, 6.3. Come on, man. No, right here at 4 zeros, 7. I think that was a really great price to take profits at. Because you can't catch the falling knife here, and you can't always sell the peak of the top, right? You can sell somewhere in between. So selling anywhere here in the 7s was a great place to take profits, right? So 4 zeros, 7.8, 4 zeros, 7, right? 7.5, 7.6, back up to 7.3, and we've had multiple opportunities to do that. I don't think you're going to get a chance to retest that resistance level many more times before there's some kind of a dumping event. That whale wallet, if they're smart, they're going to take some profits. They only put $8,000 in. So maybe they already have. Maybe they're already comfortable with profits they've taken along the way. And we're just not aware of it because we haven't seen how long they've held or if there's been any other sell-offs. The claim is that there weren't any sell-offs at all of the Shiba Inu coin, but there's a lot of activity in that wallet. So I don't know if I believe that. So right now I'm just saying that person would be crazy not to take some profits. That's life-changing money. And we've looked at their other wallets. It's not like they don't have funds in those wallets, but I don't think it's obvious that they've divested millions of dollars of funds from any of those wallets. So even this person just taking $20 million out of one of those wallets that has over $600 million in them would be life-altering money for the average American or the average European or the average world citizen. $20 million is significant wealth, right? Like it feels crazy to even have to say that, right? It's insane to have to say that, right? So like $20 million versus a $635 million balance. And that's just one of those wallets that they transferred out to. First off, it's a drop in the bucket to that wallet. But for most people, even paying a full 50% taxes off the top, you're taking that 50% haircut because you're not careful about how you take that profit, as opposed to like being really, really smart, consulting with a CPA, taking every possible tax break legally, right? Legally doing the right thing there to decrease your tax liability. Even doing that, let's say that they were able to whittle that down to a 30%, right? Haircut on the taxes, paying those taxes on the way out and being left with a minimum of $10 million that can then just yield traditional amounts at like, say maybe they even just put it into like Bitcoin, right? Or USDC and put it into Celsius, right? Like getting a percentage on that amount would pay most people's cost of living very, very comfortably, very comfortably. So I think they'd be crazy not to do it. That's my take on it, guys. I think we should expect to dump. Most rational people would just do that. They wouldn't sit around and wait until this market is ridden in this downward channel, right? Like downward triangle right here, descending triangle. It's bouncing off of a lower support line of about, yeah, 4 zeros and a 6-1, right? But I don't know how much longer it's going to keep on hitting that support line before it just says, you know what, I gotta give out. That support line is not good enough. I'm going to drop down lower. So I think that person's going to be crazy not to take some profits, and ideally up here at that point that I indicated at 4 zeros, 7 plus. Just my take on it, guys. I'm not a technical analyst and I'm not giving financial advice. I'm just saying that if that were me, I would seriously be considering taking profit right now, or sometime in the last week. I would have been seriously considering it. And I think that's why that person lined up those wallets, is because they're seriously considering it. So am I crazy? Tell me in the comments section. Is that insane? Does the logic track? Do you see the same thing I'm seeing? Or am I like way off base here? I need you guys to like help me understand if I'm understanding this correctly. But that's Shiba Inu, guys. On our automated liquidity coins, it's the highest performer for the last week. It's the highest side of the portfolio, but let's be real. It's also only performed at about 571% since we created this portfolio. So unless you're a long-term hodler, you wouldn't have done better on Shiba Inu than you would have done on, say, like Solana. You would have actually done better on Solana had you gotten in a little bit earlier on Solana versus Shiba Inu. And Solana actually has a long-term use case. You wouldn't have to be having this conversation about like, you know, when do I have to sell Solana so it doesn't so the bottom doesn't fall through. It's got fundamentals. It has usage. It's got total value locked on top of it. It isn't, it isn't just a meme that's waiting to like disappear back into obscurity when the bear market hits and then maybe come back in when we get to another bull market later on. Solana will continue to be built upon. So just throwing that out there as one example. Phantom as well, which we see in the in those portfolios. So yeah, biggest loser in this side of the portfolio is still unfortunately QuickSwap and Dragon's Quick. But again, let's contextualize that. Let's get our minds right. Guys, all things considered, that's because of the time frame. It's also a governance token for a DEX that's in the hundreds of dollars, right? Like, let's be very real. Uniswap has never been valued at $100. Pancake, right? The cake token has never been valued at $100. The fact that QuickSwap was able to like rocket upwards over $1,000 and then had this much room to fall just means that it performed orders of magnitude better than both SushiSwap, PancakeSwap, and then even Uniswap, right? So it looks like biggest loser. So guys, take all this stuff with a grain of salt. Even though we see, Shiba Inu, one person turned $8,000 into $5 billion. Clearly, over the last several months, nobody else did that. If you just heard about it, nobody else did that. Ashanti, hey, we do have a genuine hexagon in the chat. That's cool. So Ashanti's here and says, been thinking of hopping out because of that whale on Shiba. Saw that a couple of days ago. Yeah, I think Ashanti, that's smart. And I mean, especially guys, I'm gonna engage in some market talk that if you're uncomfortable with me just talking about any project, then, whatever. I'm just going to say, get over it. I'm going to say, get over it. We got a bunch of tokens that all perform well and do their own thing. So again, without me like tying up my entire brand with one project, about to say something that if you don't like Hex is going to bother you. Deal with it for like 2 minutes. Okay. All right. Uncle Seth has to chat with Ashanti for a second. So I would say like Ashanti, in your situation, without giving advice, if I were in a situation where I had a really great entry point to Shiba Inu and I was looking at these two charts right next to each other, I'd be like, oh, cool. Well, Hex, it posted an all-time high at over 40 cents and now it's retraced. You see where I'm going with this? If you're one of those people who's like a big time Hex believer, it might be time to start a new stake from something that you take profits out of, say like Shiba Inu. So just my take on that. If that's your jam, for me, it's not, right? Like guys, I have exposure to a lot of the different coins in these portfolios, but not all of them. And I'm never going to talk about exactly what my positions are. That's a fool's game. We literally just talked about somebody being kidnapped and tortured for their keys. Who talks about their portfolio publicly? That's insane. No. Yeah, no, thanks. I'm not worth kidnapping. I will say that, guys. I don't hold that much crypto. Really, don't look me up. And don't ever come by unannounced. Because the laws where I live will not work in your favor if you stop by my house unannounced. Just saying. It's it's nice to be an American these days. I will say that. For all the other faults of this country, I like being permitted to protect myself. So, Bernie says, I've seen a lot about Saitama being the next Shiba Inu. Not trying to shill. You know, first off, Saitama is a great name, and I'm kind of jealous that I didn't think of it first. And if I did, I would call it Saitama, and then I would make the ticker symbol one punch, like with the number 1 and then punch. Because that would be dope. Wouldn't that be dope? That'd be a dope token. Saitama, one punch. One punch! Man. Now you got me shilling it. I don't even know if it's a real token yet. No, not Saitama, yeah. Saitama Inu, come on. And now there's babies. Yeah, I'm like way late to the game. And they're trying to turn it into a dog coin. A doggy coin that's supposed to be like One Punch Man. Come on. Now I just feel insulted. Gosh darn it. And it's trading millions of dollars every 24 hours. Guys, is it okay for me to just give up live on stream? Because I feel like I almost need to give up. There's just too much to track. There's too much. We can't even put it into a portfolio. It's too much. It's crazy. But it looks like it's primarily on, yeah, there you go. Yep, it is on Ethereum. Let's take a look at it on Etherscan really fast, guys. I have to. I feel like I have to now. Oh my gosh, look at the total number. Fully diluted market cap of $9 billion? Where the heck has this thing been? Guys, what? What? How do we get $9.5 billion market cap coins under the radar this long? How does that happen? Did your mind just get blown? Because my mind is blown right now. That a $9.5 billion project has been in stealth mode this long, and I literally only just learned about it from a comment in a live stream. Thumbs up if you've never, I mean, thumbs down for me, right? If you've never had that experience, if you just know all the tokens, right? You know all the coins, you know all like 8 or 10,000 of them. And I'm just like a moron here. I'm going to choke on my own spit. I swear, I'm like, oh, just end it. Like, good grief, I'm dead. How did this happen? And it's active. It's on Uniswap V2, so clearly, I mean, it's been around for a little while. Dang it, man. Yeah, a DEX trades. That's cool that it's got that on the Etherscan as a category. Dude, there's so many. There's so many. Now, yeah, the comments are going to become a shill fest any second now. Where it's like, oh, I knew about this one like 5 years ago. And like you're secretly the creator of the smart contract. You're about to dump on all of us. Rug pull live on my show. Oof. Yeah, manipulating markets is a real thing too, guys, but there's a lot of activity. Clearly, there's a lot going on. A lot of buying and selling, but dang, look at that number of coins printed. Million, billion, trillion. Oof. Yeah, good luck bringing that individual coin price up much higher. Here's the thing, though, guys. We do see that we've got some meme tokens that are in the tens of billions of dollars, so it could flip over here. But I don't know. Maybe this particular token, the Saitama Inu, if this is the one you're talking about, if this is the one you mentioned before, then we could have a little bit of an issue there. Yikes. Yeah, I don't know what's happening there, guys. So Gundy's stuff and things is in the chat. Gundy, how the heck are you, brother? Good to see you in the chat. And Greg Moravec is alive, and he is dope, and he says good morning. Good to see you, brother. So, yeah, wow. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm having like my mind blown live here. I need to like actually conduct a live stream. Sorry, this took me so off guard. Yeah. I can't even pretend not to be like shocked. I'm utterly shocked. I feel like we have to add it, guys. We have to add it to this side of the portfolio. We'll go ahead and put that put that in later on. Not Saitama X, but Saitama Inu. Wow. Jeez. Yeah, and MC mentions that a certain global news item took all the attention. Yeah, I agree. It probably did. There's way more than we need to add here, guys. We've got a couple of additional coins here. If we just did like meme coins and added them here into the sort of like pumpamentals, automated liquidity side of the portfolio, I think we would do very well just with that. That is, I'm shocked, guys. Completely shocked by what I'm seeing there. Shiba Inu eating the world right now, but I do think that it's that it is pulling back. Does it have another leg up? Maybe it does, with the rest of the market having another leg up. Maybe we do see the entire crypto market cap pop over $3 trillion, and we hit a psychological barrier there, or break through a psychological barrier there that gets more retail excited to participate. That could happen. Like, never say never, but that could totally happen. And then maybe we do see Shiba Inu pop over that 3 zeros and 1 mark, maybe. But even then, that's where I think, like, cool, that's our high sign to hightail it out of here. I don't have exposure to Shiba Inu. Just want to make that clear for the record, guys. So I can say whatever I want, right, about Shiba, and it sounds good, but I don't have skin in that game. Just be aware of that. I'll try to disclose that where I can. I don't have a position in Shiba Inu, so when I talk about it this way, it's genuinely out of caution, right? I haven't even entered because I don't have an entry point now. It makes no sense for me now. I've got exposure to other projects that I'm very happy with. And in some cases, they've done better in the same time frame than when Shiba hit my radar. So I don't feel bad about taking the position that I did on other things. Guys, I think that is our total portfolio. Unless there's some additional comments, guys, if you have any other possible suggestions for coins or tokens that we can add to the portfolio, throw them out right now. Rapid fire, shill fest. You have my permission to go nuts, share the live link, bring in the shill fest, and just tell us exactly what it is you want me to add to this portfolio, because we'll add it. We don't always have time to go through each and every item in depth, but we do have enough time to talk about most things with enough depth to make sense of this overall market and just see some of the winners and losers. Somebody's saying, Ohm. Gundy says, always trade my coins to coin profits to profits in BTC. XYO, cool. All right, guys. Oh, I also need to know. Oh, yeah. And Josh Anderson brings it back in. He's asking about SMI, F Loki, and Luffy. All right, we're going to go back into this side of the portfolio. And SMI, what do we got here? Safe Moon Inu. Oh my gosh, what have I become? The grandchildren watch this stuff and be like, Granddad, you cray-cray. No, then they'll be like, we're translating that for you because you're so ancient. You don't understand our new words for that. And then, yeah, all of the Inu. I think is that what I'm seeing here? All of the Inu coins? Nope, that's different. Got UFO Gaming, which we're going to put into here as well because it's sort of our junk drawer, right? UFO Gaming. It'll just be UFO. Yep, UFO. Cool. And let's see what else. XYO. XYO is actually GPU mineable, though, isn't it? If I'm not mistaken, XYO is a fork of Monero, isn't it? Zion Network. Ooh, I want to say that's mineable, right? Gosh darn it. Let me pull it up over here on this side of this tab. Yep, XYO Network. Guys, thank you for hitting that thumbs up button. Thank you for slamming the subscribe button and smashing the bell icon. 4.5, almost 5 cents here. 4.5, 4.9 cents. And market cap of $500 million. XYO is doing quite nicely, but it is a token. And no, it is not mineable. Why did I think it was? Don't know. Anyway, it's being added to this side of the portfolio. We need more coins. Guys, if Inu coin exists, it probably does. Good grief. Guys, so if you have any ASIC mineable coins that you want to shill right now, it is the time to do it. We need to add more competitors to the ASIC side of the portfolio. Mentioned it before, and without being like disrespectful, it's getting boring, right? It's getting very boring compared to the other sides of the portfolio. Please, I beg of you, show me an ASIC mineable coin that outperforms Go Mining token, because nothing has so far. It's outperformed Bitcoin by 2 to 1. Schmiegelson says Zen. Zen is already on the portfolio. It just hasn't performed well. It's lost value in the amount of time that we've had it in the portfolio. We've got that here. Reef as well. I think that I've looked at Reef in the past, unless it has changed. So Reef is the refinance. Ah, got it. Now this is it is a DAO, isn't it? And Nick Burby says Zen is honestly so solid. It does have some pretty great fundamentals. Yeah, I agree with you there. It's just that price action, when we're strictly looking at a portfolio, price action hasn't been as impressive. So, but to your point, giving credit where it's due, they've built a lot of really strong fundamentals into that project. And it does cool stuff. So refinance, nope. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely just a token. So we're not going to be able to add that there. Kishu Inu. All right. All right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Kishu Inu is one that I've heard of among all the other dog tokens. Man, we basically got to add all of them, don't we? All right. So we're going to go ahead and add Reef Finance to this side. All right, Reef, come on in. Though I'm a little bit concerned that a lot of these have hit a ceiling of about $500 million. So we'll see what happens, guys. Kishu. Mini Kishu, baby Kishu, Kishu baby, Bishu. Oh my gosh. Oh, so many. Schmiegelson says you should interview Rolf Versluis. Helped create Zen. You know what's funny is that I have interviewed another side of the team twice, and Rolf made himself unavailable for interviews that I wanted to do back in the day when they still needed the exposure from a smaller channel like mine. I don't know. Maybe he's open to that now, but that'd be cool. Yeah, I think I would be open to interviewing project leadership again, guys. It's tough because, to be very, very blunt, I much prefer going over the macro view of the markets right now. At this point, I'm not comfortable. Like, how about this? When the market corrects, let's get back into our project founder interviews. We'll see who's actively building then, and I'll interview them then. Fair? I think it is. I think right now we got to talk about price action. We've got to talk about what's winning, and we've got to talk about what's smart for us as investors. And then when we're back in a bear market, we need to pay attention to who's building, because we know they will win in the following bull market. That's my take on it. So that's what I did last market. That's what I think I'm going to do this market as well for my channel, and just for your benefit. That's how I want to take it. So Daryl is saying Saitama Inu looks interesting. Yeah, we got it on the list now. We've got some very interesting coins in the list now for sure. So automated liquidity also. Let's see. What else have we got? Guys, any other recommendations? Cadena is in our FPGA mining portfolio. So that's all packed away. It's all solid there. We got a bunch of new entries that need to have their initial placed in there from May 26th. So we got Zio, UFO, Reef, Luffy, Safe Moon Inu, Floki Inu, Saitama Inu, Kishu Inu, and what else have I missed? Do I dare? Yeah, I think I'm gonna try it out. Let's see. DeFi NFT. No, there should be a meme section here. All right, just gonna do something dangerous. Living dangerously. Inu. Yep, there's just Inu token. Koka Inu, Hachiko Inu, which is another great Inu breed, actually. Inuyasha, Aino token. See what else we got here. Oof, wrecked. Koka Inu, wrecked. Hachiko Inu, wrecked. Anubis. Oh my gosh. Here's the other thing, guys. Anubis DAO. Rug pulled for $60 million a few days ago. Didn't make news. Protect yourself. Really. Stay safe. Okay. Anubis. Wrecked. Inuyasha. Wrecked. Ainu. Not wrecked. What? $13 million market cap. And it's down, but it's not fully wrecked. Not fully wrecked. Oh my gosh. Oh, Doge on Mars. Yes, good grief. How could I have missed Doge on Mars? That one, by the way, was only just added. Doge on Mars. Okay, and that's the Elon ticker symbol. Oh, guys, that's I mean, I wouldn't say that it's got strong fundamentals, but it's one that is definitely very popular right now. Market cap just nearing $1 billion, and they just added, I have it on good authority, they just added $1 million of pool rewards to QuickSwap. So that's kind of cool. So you can actually stake it over there. That's something that's a bit unique among some of the other tokens that we see here. But they're one of the few here that has gone past the $500 million mark. They're actually nearing $1 billion right now. So good for them. They've done quite well. And then Simp token. Oh my gosh. Do I have to? Do I have to, guys? Do I have to? I kind of have to, don't I? Yeah, Rice keeps telling me that I should review that one. Not on CoinGecko for now. Maybe soon. Rug Zombie. All right, I got to take a look at Rug Zombie as well. We're adding it to the list. Guys, in just a second here, I've got to get out of here. But Rug Zombie. Yeah, look at that. What have I done? No. Oh, wrecked. Wrecked. Not totally wrecked, actually. No, it's... What am I talking about? I will add it. So let it be written. So let it be done. Come here, Rug Zombie. Adding you to the list. What's it going to hurt, guys? Right? What is it going to hurt? This is our moonshot side of the portfolio. If Shiba Inu is leading this side of the portfolio, we can add all the rest of these as well. Guys, definitely appreciate you being live with me today. Thank you so much for hitting that thumbs up. It really means a lot. Everything you do, click all the buttons, right? The sub button, and then slam the little bell icon so you're notified. All the buttons that you click let YouTube know that you want to see more of this content. And we will be going live more frequently in the mornings. So I think we may be adding either Friday or both Friday and Saturday morning streams earlier. So we're not stepping on the toes of our good friends and the rest of the GPU mining community, because guys, hats off where it's due. We got some phenomenal creators in the GPU mining community who frankly you need to hear from, right? We need that diversity of thought and opinion, right? I'm just one guy and we're stronger together, right? Like and not because we all think exactly the same, but precisely because we think a little bit differently, right? So we can give a little bit of counterpoint. Guys, appreciate you being subscribed, being here to the end of the video. You're the reason I make this media. You know I love your face. Remember to stay private and mind your biz. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. Be sure to check out mineyourbiz, where you can sign up for our email newsletter, where we're still ramping up content, but you will occasionally receive specials for flash sales and all kinds of other deals that we have going on the site. You can also check out our services page, where we offer consulting to projects that need it. You can pick up the Freedom Phone, which respects your privacy. You can pay for it in crypto and have it shipped to you anonymously, as well as getting merchandise that also is paid for with crypto. That's right, we practice what we preach, including, well, a Flux swag page. That's right. It's a dedicated page just for the team over at Flux Network, because we love them that much. Thanks for watching to the end. Thanks for being subscribed. You know I love your face. Be sure to stay private and mind your biz.